Howdy, this is Severely Zero, and today we are finally getting around to testing if the Onryo can light firelights or not. During the Bleasdale update, they added a new interaction for the ghost, which is the ghost can now light a firelight. It is a rare interaction, but we were told by CJ, and not the patch notes, that the Onryo is unable to light a firelight. We want to test this extensively. Of course, we will be attempting to prove a negative, which seems to happen a lot. But what we're going to do is I've cleared everything that I can interactable out of this main area in the circle, and the ghost room is the room that I'm in. Now, this is a non-Onryo ghost for now, and I'm going to sit here for an hour and see how many times in that hour the ghost lights the fire. And then we'll kind of gauge how often it does it over that hour. And then once we have that baseline, we'll attempt to find an Onryo in a room that also has a light source, whether it's here on Camp Woodwind with the fire or it's on one of the house maps with one of the candles. And then we'll be able to gauge if it can or not. So we expect it to be lit a couple of times over the next hour. And without further ado, we'll cut to that. So it has been about an hour and 15 minutes, and it looks like it's lit the campfire a few times, maybe. So let's go ahead and show that it's not an Onryo. I think this might have been a Banshee. Sure enough, it was. So, yeah, if we look at the summary, we were in that map for about hour and a half. Um, and I'll post on the screen how many times we saw it light the fire in that hour and a half. Now, the next goal is to keep retrying until we find an Onryo in the same room on this map, if possible. And with that one, we'll probably let it run maybe 2.5 hours, just so we have a really good baseline of it's not going to touch the campfire like this one did. So we'll be back with that one. We are back with an Onryo on the campsite in the campfire room, finally. We're going to basically do the same thing we did with the Banshee, but leave it for a little bit longer amount of time just because proving a negative is a little bit more difficult. So I will turn off my screen and microphone and let this run for 2 hours, and we'll see how many times it lights the fire. We expect there to be none if the Onryo can't light firelights. Well, it has been just about 2 hours, and the campfire obviously hasn't been lit. So let's go ahead and head back to the lobby and show that it is an Onryo.
Welcome back. There's some
It
jobs ready
was
for you.
indeed an Onryo. We were in there for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Lots of interactions. Lots of events. So this is more of a confirmation of what was told to us from the devs. I hadn't seen any convincing evidence one way or the other, but it was quite clear in the first one that with a random ghost that ended up being a banshee, within an hour's time frame, it lit that campfire 10 times, and then with the Onryo, in a 2-hour stint, it didn't light it at all. So even though it's difficult to prove a negative, this is pretty strong evidence towards what was already told to us. So instead of us putting this on the cheat sheet as a warning, because it did come from the devs, this is something that we'll probably say is confirmed. So the phrasing that we'll probably use is, if at any point the ghost lights a firelight, it is not an Onryo. So it was good to test this one. If you have anything else that you want us to research or look into, you can find us on at our Discord that is linked down in the description. So we hope to see you there, and thanks so much for watching.